All right. This is Nate. Some of y'all may be familiar with me. Me and my son, we started a LB's Landscaping about 14 years ago, 2009. And so some people may be kind of familiar with us. We put out a few videos and stuff like that. But I'm coming out today to kind of introduce myself all over again in a totally different field. So if you don't know, I think around 2012, 2013, I think I did my first video regarding cutting grass. And during that time, we were really just getting started as far as becoming an LLC and doing it, properly and stuff like that. So here it is, 2022, and we're on to something totally different. I think I started out in 09, like I said, and that was at that point in time, looking forward to going pretty far and cutting grass as possible. So we did that. I think my son, he graduated from from high school in 2020, I believe. I think 2019, and graduated from college in 2021 because he did expedited courses at a music institution. And at that point, when he got done with I think high school, might have been high school or college, when he got done, I had decided that I really didn't want him doing this anymore, because you either have to go in all the way with cutting grass, or you're gonna lose the the feel for it. And for me, I was definitely excited at first, until I began to realize that it's only a certain amount of employees you're gonna be able to keep in this field. My son had been working with me since he was 9 years old, and when he got up to age, I think 20, yeah, because he's 22 now. So got up to age 20, I just felt like as his father, even though it was a company I was putting together for him and Lord willing grandchildren and stuff like that, I didn't want him doing this all his life, because this is really a field where you really have to do a lot of labor. And the hardest part about this particular industry is being able to keep help. And all these years that I've been in this business, mainly the help that was consistent was my son. So when he got done with high school and college, like I said, I wasn't forcing him to come back to doing this anymore, because he had already put in enough work, and I had already showed him how to work with his hands. So if anything ever happened to him where he can't use his degrees and stuff like that, he knows how to work with his hand. He can easily get back out here in this field and do this, as far as cutting is concerned. So, but needless to say, once he moved on and I wasn't pushing the issue no more, I tried to hold on a little bit, and wanted to hold on and try to see about expanding LB's Landscaping and going a little bit further. Some of you guys may know that we had Ray with us, we had Nemo with us, a few guys we had in and out, and it's almost like a revolving door when it comes to cutting grass. But I could never really get that person that would be able to help us keep you know, the company just going and being able to build it on its own. That never came about. So last year, me and another guy, happened to be a really good brother, end up meeting. You know, he was doing some work, you know, like putting lights on my boats and all that type of stuff, because he was in between work at the time, or should I say at a point where he was trying to figure out what he was going to do. He was somewhat retired, right? Trying to figure out what he was going to do as far as, you know, what type of field he was going to go into, because he's still a fairly young man. But his job had moved out to Texas. Him being here in Atlanta, they paid him out. So he had some, you know, change put up. But he's still, you know, like I said, young man in his 40s, still want to do some type of work. So we came together. We formed a new company in 2022 called Yard Barbers. And Yard Barbers, for us, it was going to be, you know, a pretty big company based on what me and him were thinking about. And as far as pushing the company, we was going to take it pretty far. But at the same time, he did introduce to me about, he did talk to me about spraying. And in Georgia, or in different places around the United States, when I speak of spraying, I'm talking about pesticides, ornamental turf, pest control, ornamental turf. In the state of Georgia, it's called Category 24. So what I decided to do was, since he told me about that, because the way the conversation came about was, he was going to this guy's house to see about cutting his yard. And when he went over there, the guy mentioned to him that his buddy used to cut yards, and he got out of this field to actually start spraying, and he's making a whole lot more money and doing a lot less work. So I thought about that, and I was like, well, man, what is it called? You know, or we didn't know at the time what it's called, so we figured well, you know what, man, we need to figure out what that's called so we can get into that. Now, originally, the plan was for us to go take the test here in Georgia, and after we take the test, we can just add it to our company called Yard Barbers. Well, so that was the plan at first. Well, we found out what it was called. It's called, like I said, in Georgia, it's called Category 24. And we would be applying pesticides. And this is actually my license right here. As you can see that. There we go. All right, so, and I'm not going to show you the thing on the back. And I cross out my license number. The sun is in the way. There we go. So you can see that I'm certified, and I have my license, and I can apply pesticides in the state of Georgia. And it's also, you know, is able to transfer over to North Carolina as well, I think with a $25 reciprocal fee. But I went and took the test. I passed the test. The test is a total of 200 questions. Well, 197. I think the Category 24, and that's what you need. You need Category 24 if you're in the state of Georgia and you want to do pesticides, right? If you want to, in other words, you would be like True Green, but you'll be certified and have license. Now, so we were gonna, like I said, expand the business, but when I took the test and I passed the test first time, like I said, almost 200 questions. You have to make 70% on each test, and they mix it together. So the total is going to be 197 questions, And you can mix up to 57 questions out of 197. I passed with 100. I got 161 questions right out of 197. So, but if you study the test, apply yourself, get all the stuff that's necessary. It's not that expensive. At least in Georgia and North Carolina, I know for sure. But if you do what's necessary, you can pass the test. You just got to study and take your time. But I decided to go ahead and get out of cutting grass because it's almost like common sense, man. If I can do less work and make more money, why not? You know, last week I went out and did 4 yards in about an hour and 30 minutes and made about $250. And it wasn't really hour and 30. The only reason it was hour and 30 minutes because I was going to get something to eat. I was stopping, going to this place, that place, going to the, going over to the stores and all that type of stuff. So if they were all next to each other, it would have took about 30 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes tops to spray those yards. That would have been $250. So I'm not saying that all is going to work out like that. But for somebody like myself, I needed something that was going to challenge me. And I needed something that was going to bring in more income where I would be able to hire people and bring them in, you know what I'm saying, and be able to keep the employees as a part of the company. So I have a new company. You guys probably saw the logo. It's called Underdog Spraying. Now, most people may not understand why I call it Underdog. The reason why it's called Underdog Spraying is because when I got my retainers in my mouth, I could be spraying the camera, excuse me. But it's called Underdog Spraying because a lot of black people or African American men are not in this field. Not to say that the stipulations exclude us or that it's high or anything like that, but this is a field where you are required to know what you're doing and have some type of wherewithal pertaining to spraying people's yards and killing pests in the yard and all different type of things regarding chemicals you have to know. So it's not necessarily just picking up a lawnmower and cutting somebody's yard. Anybody can do that. I think I saw somebody say there's over 100,000 landscape companies in the United States. And you see a lot of black folks, especially up here in Atlanta, cutting grass. But throughout the United States, this is not a common field for African Americans to be a part of. So that's why I called it an underdog, because in a field where I'm not expected to be the majority in, I just want to kind of, show within myself. It's like a competition that I created in my mind. You know what I'm saying? Like if someone is looking at me saying, well, you can't do this, I want to show that I can do it. I can understand the science when it comes to grass. I can understand the science when it comes to chemicals. I can understand and be a successful company and bring not only myself in, but other African Americans, white Americans, Mexican Americans, whatever the case may be. But I can be successful regardless of how it may look when it comes to a field where you don't see that many African Americans in this, in it. So that's why it's called underdog, because it's like breaking through and being successful no matter what. But that has nothing to do with, my relationship with my friends who happen to be white. That has nothing to do with that. Has nothing to do with my father-in-law who's white. You know what I'm saying? Has nothing to do with that. It just has something to do with the stigma that, it's almost like taking a litmus test being a quarterback. We're not supposed to be successful in those areas. So in a field like this, it seems like we're not supposed to be successful in chemicals and spraying and stuff like that. But I'm an example showing that if you just study, take your time, you can actually pass the test and get in this field and be successful. So I did buy a tank. I'll show you guys that later on. 200 gallon, 300-foot hose, North Star from Northern Tool, with a Honda engine. Bought that. And you can put it on your landscape trailer, but what I did was I just bought the highway kit for it, where you can actually put the brackets on it and put wheels on it and stuff like that, so it can be a actual trailer that you can pull on the highway and stuff like that, as opposed to just putting it on the trailer. Next year, Lord willing, I will also purchase a ride-on spreader, and I will probably be selling my truck, my Suburban, to get a pickup truck so I can put the tank back there and actually hook the ride-on spreader onto the back of the truck. Probably gonna get the Underdog truck wrapped and all that type of stuff. Because that's one thing I learned about this while studying for it. If you're gonna deal with spraying, you either go hard or go home. And that's why I went on and got out of the cutting grass, because one, you know, my mind wasn't in it no more. I really just wasn't feeling it. You know, I got tired of being out here in this heat, cutting grass. I got tired of getting dirty. I got tired of being treated like crap. You know, because a lot of people, when it comes to cutting grass, you're looked at as somebody that cuts my grass. You know, so a lot of times when it comes to payment, people are disrespectful. When it comes time to, you know, you knowing what to do and how to do your job, you know, people just feel like they can throw you in the type of way, and treat you in the type of way. And I say that's about 10% of the reason why. You know, most of my customers were pretty good, pretty straight. I've established a lot of relationships over the 14-year time frame that I've been in cutting grass, which is why I walked away from the landscape business the proper way. I let all my customers know that we were going to transfer everything over to my partner who came in with yard barbers, in the yard barbers with me. Also on top of that, I made sure my partner who came in with me, I made sure he was good as far as like being able to take on those customers and stuff. And you know, and then on top of that, some of the customers that I serviced over the 14-year time frame, now they want me to spray their yard. So everybody's not bad. It's just that I got sick and tired of cutting grass. It felt like I was not being challenged. I have mainly got the cutting grass down to a T. Hedges to a T, pine straw to a T, mulch, you know what I'm saying, planting. I got it down to a T, but I'm getting older, and I don't want to be doing this at 60 years old. I just don't. So it was time now for me to jump into something else that's going to challenge me. So not only do I have my pesticide license, I also am studying now for my mosquito application license as well. So what you have to do is you have to get a general standard license across the board in the state of Georgia, also for Carolina as well. North Carolina, I should say. General standard license, and under those general standard license, then you can add different categories to it. So I got my general standard license. Now what I did was I added my category 24, which is ornamental turf and pest control, which is going to cover all type of grasses, baseball fields, football fields, residentials, commercial properties, being able to spray and, you know, bring that grass out, right? Make it look nice. That's one category. Now another category, which is called category 41, that is for mosquitoes. Since I have the general standard license, now I can add the category 41 in my license also. And then so on and so forth. But I just want to make this video to encourage those that are cutting grass, those that are looking to get in the field, start your own business. Look, man, look into the ornamental turf, look into the spraying and stuff like that. It's not hard. A lot of guys I try to get information to, and they just take my number and they don't do nothing. They don't call back to follow up so I can send the information to them. And it's only, you know, there's nothing else you can do. Just got to leave it like it is. But if you're interested, let me know. I'll take you on this journey with me. You know, I did pass the test, but it's nothing like hands-on. So I can't wait to get hands-on and learn and start showing you guys some of the different methods on how to bring the grass, you know, to a top-notch level. So hopefully, this will be an inspiration to somebody else. And I would love for y'all to follow me on this journey. LB's Landscaping. We're now Underdog. Underdog spraying. All right, so if you're interested in the state of Georgia on what to do, feel free to reach out. I'll be more than happy to help you. In any other state, it doesn't matter. Just give me, get in contact with me, and I can kind of let you know what I had to do here. I studied it, passed it the first time, so it can be done. You just have to apply yourself. And next thing you know, man, you're on your way. A lot of people are thinking about it. I think there was a store here that said one of the highest products that they've been selling this year at the lawn supply store was actually spraying equipment. So a lot of people are starting to look into that. You do have like this, a barrier. The barrier and the difference between cutting grass and getting into pesticide application, the difference is you have to take a test. And what that does is that eliminates anybody from just being able to do this. Because if they averaging $1,000 a day, and I mean that it's worth it. If the average payout is $1,000 a day that you're making, you can make in 5 days $5,000, and you get you one worker, and give him $500 a day, or give him $400 a day. $400 a day times 5 days a week. He gets $2,000 to take home. You as an owner, you take home $3,000. And with your license, you can add, in Georgia, you can add 5 other people up under you. They don't have to have license or be certified or nothing like that. You as an owner have to be certified. And if they get into a situation while they're on the job, they just have to be able to contact you, and you have to be able to walk them through the process. But you can bring 5 people under your license and get several trucks on the road. Now, depending on how much money you want to make, some people say, well, 300 customers is good to keep things rolling, because you don't go out every week. You don't go out every 2 weeks like you do with cutting grass. You go out about every 5 to 8 weeks, depending on the yards, right? So I'm setting mine up for 5 to 6 weeks. And I'm trying to go from 10 to 12 applications a year per customer, right? I just got a call last week. I was supposed to go today, but it rained today, from a big subdivision here in Atlanta. They want me to come out and give them a price on spraying all the property. The common areas and stuff like that, all around the lakes and all that stuff, entrances and all that, and that comes from a customer's yard that I used to cut. She is also a part of making sure that this subdivision is up to par. And when I say it's a big it's huge. But that's just out the gate, something that was being offered to me right there. And I can do that by myself. I don't need a worker. I can do it by myself. Or I can pass on the work to somebody else so they can make money as well. And that's really what it's all about, trying to help others be able to eat at the same time. You want to help other people eat in the landscape business, but it's just like people don't want to eat, man, because it get hot out here. You can't really offer nothing because the season does stop at the end of the year. So you really can't keep it going on. When people have mouths to feed, they still need to keep bringing income in. But in this field right here, you can set something up as the owner where you can keep it going. And that's my goal, to keep this thing going. So hopefully at the end of the day, you guys can watch how Underdog grows as a business. You can watch the process of how we get out here and measure some of the properties, measure some of the landscape, watch the hiring process, see me bringing people, try to show them the ropes to it. Because look, you don't have to get dirty doing it. I'm just gonna be honest with you. You ain't getting dirty out here spraying no yard. Yeah, you gotta wear your PPE and stuff like that, but still, you can get out here and knock these properties out and be back in your truck going home a whole lot quicker than you can cutting grass. I'm not knocking anybody that likes to cut grass. I'm not knocking anybody that has taken on this field, because I did it for 14 years. It's a great field to be in, but for me, I couldn't go no further. I had opportunities to get the contracts. I even know people in the state of Georgia that are responsible for the bids at the prison systems, on the highways, the GA, GA.gov and all that. Went and sat down with the lady that actually runs. She's retired now. She is over the minority section of UGA that brings in minorities to actually work and take care of the fields and stuff like that. But the hard thing about it is, how can I do it if I can't get no workers? And people say, well, hire Mexicans. No, look, first and foremost, crossing over into that arena right there, a lot of times Mexicans just don't want to work with black folks. I mean, let's just call it like it is. You know, and then sometimes black folks don't want to work with black folks. You know, and and people like to say that all the time, where black people can't get along with each other and stuff. Look, Mexicans can't get along with each other either. My son-in-law has a big construction company up here in Atlanta, and he has Mexicans working for him. And he was telling me the other day how they fight against each other, just like we fight. You know what I'm saying? So it's not about that at the end of the day. What it's about is that a lot of people just don't want to be in this field. But if you can make it successful, I encourage you to keep on pushing on in this field right here. It makes a lot of money. It pulls you out of the warehouse where you have to answer to anybody else. You can work for yourself. It was a lot of times I got with my family while my kids were small. Me and my wife, we took them out. We hit vacation, did what we want to do, because it's our own business. That's what we don't forget. It's still our own business. But it's just for me as an individual. I needed something to challenge me. I wanted to learn the science behind the grass. I want to know why Bermuda looks like this. I want to know why centipede grows like this. I want to know why fescue is like this. And you know what I'm saying? I wanted to know all these different things about the grass, about the St. Augustine, about the weeds, about the cinch bugs and stuff like that. I wanted to learn all this stuff to see what can I do to make somebody's yard better, because it's going to make me study. It's going to make me add knowledge to what it is I'm doing, as opposed to just cranking up a lawnmower, cutting the grass, and not really having the certification by the state, you know, for them to pay me for what I'm worth. So that's where I am. Like I said, if you have any questions, want to reach out to me regarding this, I don't mind. This is a brand new journey for us, and we will be making sure we log everything, you know what I'm saying, letting you know how this journey goes. But I'd like to welcome you all once again. I know it's not LB's Landscaping anymore, but we're now Underdog Spraying. So I'd like to welcome you to Underdog Spraying, our new channel, brand new company. And I look forward to you all growing with me. All right, thanks a lot. Have a great evening and a great day, great morning, wherever you are.